Alright, we gotta go first. Let's FTK this guy. Ooh, we got the Soul Levy. We've got the Daki, but we've got no combo extenders here. But, I mean, yo, I'm gonna try to play this out. Go for this turn 1. Because I can stack Plague, which opens up the doors for Modify here. Oh, he's setting cards. Okay, that's good. That's a good sign. So this deck can FTK. I just needed to go ahead and obviously go into the whole combo. But you know, no, since he didn't really do anything, that's really good. Oh, that's exactly what we really needed here. To be honest, I also technically need. I mean, yeah, I could do this and then go into a 4. Is one of the Mayakashis a 4? There's a 5 and a 3. But I guess I could just, if you control another Mayakashi, you can just summon that card. So that actually works perfectly fine. So we're going to go ahead and summon the Soul Absorbing Bone Tower off of our young Plugspurter zombie here. So we can just use the Yuki over here off this. So we're going to go ahead and summon the Soul Absorbing Bone Tower. And then we can go ahead and we can activate the effect of Plague, or I can just normal summon this and special summon this card over here. In the off chance that I want to use the card later on. But basically, we get rid of like a bunch of his cards, and then we flip up Soul Levy, and then he cannot special summon, because if he does, he just loses. It's a dirty thing to do. You can send a zombie monster to the grave. We already have the Soul Absorbing Bone Tower, but because he might happen to have something that gets rid of Daki, I want to go for double Dakis into the graveyard. Because he's eventually going to see exactly what's going on, and he might hit Daki. We're good on this. Oh, okay. So then we go ahead and start climbing up with all the Mayakashis, and with Soul Absorbing Bone Tower, that's every time we summon cards, he's going to go ahead and lose out on cards. So we're going to activate both of the effects of the Dakis. The reason why I'm activating both effects of the Dakis is actually pretty important here. If you would to, let's say, banish one, the other one will still proc. You can only technically control one Daki in the first place, but it's more so just to be able to make it so he cannot actually get rid of them. So he's going to go ahead and send 2 more. Some of them might actually help him out, but I also have Ash, and I also have Soul Levy, and every time he's going to summon, we're going to go ahead and be able to get rid of his stuff. So we're going to go ahead and just do the standard Mayakashi climb. So Soul Levy's the main focus of this video. Every time he tries to special summon, he needs to send the top 3 cards of his deck to the graveyard, which basically means that when he will not have the amount of cards required, well, it's just going to be GG for him. You basically, if you open up with this specific combo, you can actually make it better. If you happen, at one point I was trying Necroface and I was trying Gold Sark and kind of like a Banish variant, but I don't think it's that necessary. So he's going to lose, like I said, a bunch of cards, but eventually they'll come to a point where he's not going to be able to go for special summons, which is going to be dirty. So he's probably thinking like, oh, this is fine, he's trying to deck me out, but I'm just going to go ahead and OTK him, which, again, not going to be looking too good for him very soon. Once again, I just got to activate all the effects. Out of nowhere, he's going to be called by the grave now. What else does he have? Is there anything? He's got Pinkatrops, the Honest. That might be GG. No, don't leave on me! Don't leave! Okay, sweet. Okay. I thought he was gonna leave. So Absorbing Bone Tower, another. Okay. Please don't leave on me, mate. We're almost done with the combo. Almost. But he's thinking to himself, oh, perfect, I'm gonna go for that Buster Dragon, and then he's gonna lose all his cards. Oh, Limiter! Dude, this guy cheeky, dude. This guy extra cheeky. Metaverse. Take and activate a field spell. which is just the card that searches. I mean, that's fine. And then we can go ahead and once again go for the other Mayakashi. We're almost done with the combo. It takes a long time though, and I think a lot of people would be inclined to quit when you do this. But in the off chance that it's a monster that would like special summon or get something, oh, it could be the gadgets too. I gotta keep that in mind as well. So we're gonna finally go into this. Guess we want that effect. You could technically force one more out of this. If I decided to go ahead and I could go right into that one, which would be another 2. I mean, if I had Zombie World, this card could also be pretty dirty. I kind of want to just go for that, because this card will bring back the other card anyways. And, like, Soul Absorbing isn't going to do any good at this point. Like, I mean, technically, yeah, if this card goes away, you know what, we could just leave it if we want to. And we could still stack one for Plague. Let's just go ahead and activate this, and then just go to the battle phase. If he special summons, we could kind of determine it from there. Like, you know, we'll play it from there. He can only special summon. Okay, so he's gonna go ahead and have the card die. Oh, never mind. It has 2k defense. Ripperoni that idea. All right, so he's gonna draw 1. Then he can also then he can special summon 2 times. But remember, this card will bring back the other boss card, even though he's more likely going to get rid of it with another card effect. I'm glad the guy stuck around, because most people would not stick around for that. So he's going to go ahead and hanger. Go ahead and search out that card. If he is going to search out that card, whatever. No biggie, no biggie. But he will indeed have options. But yeah, you can, like I said, you can pull off basically an FTK in this deck. If you have Zombie World, then anything that he summons will also proc the effect, so he's going to go and equip. And if he gets rid of the Soul Absorbing Bone Tower, it doesn't really matter too much. Like, I could get 2 more technically out, but this card is already, like, there's already 2 summons that will more than likely go on to make a play, right? And at that point, this will get rid of all the cards. So it forces them, basically, you either FTK them by them not having any cards and then they deck out, or you put them in a situation where they have to OTK you through the Mayakashi, which, I mean, sometimes you can do. So he's going to go ahead and summon that, and then he has to get rid of 3. He's probably like, whoa, dude, this is not too bad. But, yeah, at this point, oh, he surrendered. Poor guy, dude. I feel bad, dude. But there's Soul, Levy, FTK/OTK. It's technically, well, it's a deck out deck. It doesn't have to be in the first turn. Obviously, it'd be better in the first turn. And honestly, it's really hard to get a duel going on. I had a few people just leave on me. But I was thinking about this card, because that was the whole point of the video. In that deck, he only technically special summoned once, but most Yu-Gi-Oh decks, you guys that have played this game know that they will be special summoning like 50 different times. That's just how Yu-Gi-Oh is. Soul Levy is only good turn 1, realistically. And there are so many decks where even if you don't happen to have this setup, where you are, like, if let's say you go second, they go ahead and they go off on a board, you can still kind of play Mayakashis at the end of the day. I should fill up the extra deck, but there's just actually 1 extra slot. I would not say this deck is anywhere near like top tier competitive, because Soul Levy really needs to go first. But even if you don't open up with like the combo, if you Soul Levy and they lose like 20 cards, right, and you survive, whether you set like a Plague Spreader or Daki, and you survive to the next turn, you are able to go ahead and get rid of all the rest of the cards, because like they can easily lose like 10 cards. Most average decks will special summon 3 times. If you take the 3 special summons, which is 9 cards plus the 10th for the draw, and then the 5 cards that they start off with, on average, the full combo, if you happen... I mean, it's really difficult to get 2 of these out. Theoretically possible, yes, but it requires, like, Reborn or 1-for-1. I mean, it can be any variants of Reborn, this. You really need a lot more. But I was thinking about Zombie World too. If you happen to want to pull off FTKs, it can work too with Inferno Reckless Summon and card destruction. If you get rid of their card, then they special summon something. Like, you could do some dirty stuff, but honestly, it's too inconsistent. But what is consistent is literally just going through the full Mayakashi combo, which every single time you summon 1 card plus the Daki, that's 4 cards every single time, which can actually add up to be quite a bit. But it's really just this card that makes the deck so much better. I actually did cover a Mayakashi Deckout deck a while back, and you could pull it off. But this card is really the star player, because again, if you go first, you flip up this card. If they special summon like 2 to 3 times, the Mayakashi engine will usually finishes them off. My opponent, again, he only special summoned 1 time, and he was at the point he couldn't go for another special summon, because, well, then he would just deck out. So it forces them again to OTK you. OTK or deck out. I guess that would be a good title for this, is like OTK or deck out, because that's what your opponent is going to be required to do. And again, so important thing I didn't get to show off in the video, and I honestly don't really want to play this deck anymore, because people will just leave if you start going for the Mayakashi combo, because they think that they're going to get decked out. But you leave them usually with 5 to 6 cards, and what happens is they will just quit. But one day of peace would also, it's not a bad card also. I can actually suggest this card because it gives you the extra draw power, and on top of that, a lot of times your opponent won't push for things. But like, what are they gonna do? Not special summon and then just take all the damage to the face? Like, you could theoretically win by just battling your opponent as well. But yeah, like I said, a lot of times with we were doing some calculations earlier. So hold on, let me move this. But these were cards I was running before. I could definitely suggest this card. In fact, you can maybe drop this card to because you can only play 1 of them, or you could technically run Call of Mummy is so good in this deck though, because this gets its effect when it's normal or special, this gets its effect when it's normal or special, so it doesn't matter the order in which you do them, but usually you want to be able to summon Bone Tower more than anything. That's the only card that's difficult to get in this deck out. Once you get that card out, you win it. But if you go for the normal Mayakashi combo, right, you have, if you summon Bone Tower first, then go for the full combo, that's 1, then that's 2, and then every single time you go for this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then every single time you go, and then you eventually make this, then you go bring back Daki from this, you've gotten rid of like half of their deck at that point. And then that's just with this, and then if you can follow up, before I was testing out Gold Sark, if you use Gold Sark or the present card, if you use present card and or Gold Sark for Necroface, that's the other cards that you would need, and you wouldn't even need Soul Levy, and then you could just deck them out via that way. However, I don't know, the point of this was to stop people from special summoning 50 different times, but at the end of the day, even if they go for, let's say, a Phoenix to pop this card, that's still usually 2 special summons minimum, which is an additional 6 cards, at which point they lose anyways. So I think that could work. Mystic Mind could also work quite well in the deck if you were to play Metaverse. I was thinking about legitimately playing Mystic Mind plus Metaverse plus the Zombie World, because that means when you summon the Soul Absorbing Bone Tower, that's an additional 5 cards every single time they special summon. So again, there's more utility with Soul Levy if you want to go that route. But this is my early introduction to a Soul Levy deck out variant deck featuring Mayakashis. But there are other ways to play the deck. But honestly, I'm really not too interested in giving other crazy gameplays. If you guys want to send it in, feel free to go ahead and do so. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you guys can comment down below what other ways we can make this deck better. I think that Mystic Mind would be better, but the problem that I have with getting you guys gameplay of anything Mystic Mind related, and I don't even blame the people for seeing Mystic Mind Metaverse and they quit, because it's an annoying deck, and I'm so glad that the person did not quit on me before going for his plays. But Someone could correct me if I'm wrong on this, but certain cards, I'm not sure if you can still special summon under Soul Levy if you can't send, because it says each time your opponent special summons a monster, they have to send the top 3. With Charge of the Light Brigade, you can't, if you can't send the cards to the graveyard, you can't go for the effect of the Charge of the Light Brigade if you can't send those cards to the graveyard. I'm not sure if they need to meet those requirements to special summon. I don't think they do, but someone can let me know. But I'd like to see other variants of Soul Levy, because I think this card is amazing, but the main problem with this is A, it's a trap, B, you have to go first with it. Because, again, in my instance, I happened to go first. I didn't open up with it, but my opponent just happened to have a slow hand. And against most meta decks, you'd probably get outclassed if you are going second. But if you do go first and you open up Soul Levy, again, most decks will special summon like 5 times. That's 15 cards. And then followed up with the other combo. But anyways, I feel like I ranted a little bit there. Onwards with the quick little deck profile here. I think people still using fireworks. Alright, so it's just triple Soul Absorbing, triple Ash, 2 copies of Daki, 3 copies of Plagues. This is my target for this card. And then we have 3 Hajun, 1 Ice. This can extend your combos, plus it does send the zombie to the graveyard, which can tactically help out the deck for the double Daki, which is actually very important for opponents that would, let's say, banish this card with Called. And then in addition to that, it does technically send another card, so it can send the Bone Tower, and then you can Reborn. I was also running Book of Life in very early stages of building this deck, but I didn't really like it. This just searches out your Hajun, but it could search out your other cards if you want to. Specifically, this is the other card if you already have that, because it's just another zombie that you can special summon, and it just foolishes. Then we're playing 2 copies of this, and then 1 Day of Peace is a great addition. 3 copies of Desires, Card Destruction. Originally I was playing Morphing Jar as well. If you have this card, you can FTK them. The FTK requires you to either have Zombie World, this, or Present card. But realistically, again, you can technically pull it off. If you can get a double of these, there's other ways to FTK. But primarily, it's more consistent not to pull off the FTK. But it's very consistent to be able to, if you happen to have Soul Absorbing Bone Tower, turn 1, you'll be able to put them in a scenario where they have to OTK you or they just lose. Anyways, 1 Day of Peace. Honestly, you could maybe put this to 2, but it's just an all-in deck. Foolish, Reborn, 3 copies of this, and there's just consistency. And then Called Mummy's a great card. This will also allow you to pull off the FTK. And then Soul Levy, and then 2 copies of every single copy of the Mayakashi, and then Vampire Sucker, as well as Link Karibo. Originally, when I was playing Zombie World, this card was an extra card that I could technically go into with like another Hajun for like the next turn. Because remember, you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck via Daki's effect, except for Mayakashi monsters. But what you can do is you can make these later on. Yuki's technically allows you to go have that extra zone where you can remake one of these cards with Soul Absorbing Tower if you want to go for that. But anyways, I feel like I ranted there a little bit longer than necessary at the end. But anyways, yeah, that is a Soul Levy Deckout variant deck featuring the Bone Tower. Just locks them out of really special summoning, and then you deck them out. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel here, hit the subscribe button. Turn on that bell if you'd like to see more Yugioh videos. And peace.